truly chilling incident that has come to light from Mumbai. A 33-year-old professor at a private college in Mumbai was stabbed to death in a local train in Malad railway station, and the co-passenger stabbed him in this crowded train and fled from the spot. The entire chilling incident has been caught on camera, as you can see. It was an argument that broke out over something very petty. It was while alighting from the train when an argument broke out with this co-passenger, and that ended in the murder. Within a few seconds, it all seemed to change when the accused in the case, seen running from the station here, took out a sharp object and then stabbed the professor to death. And you can see here, just moments after that, the passengers around are seen looking in absolute shock. The murder happened after an argument over getting off at the station. Moments after the murder, the accused is seen getting off the train and then also walking away, after which he reaches the spot and is seen running from there. None from here, none of the other co-passengers could even process what was happening. Within seconds, the accused had stabbed the professor, walked away from the train and then started fleeing from there. The professor was travelling in the second-class coach of the Churchgate-Borivali slow train with another teacher with him. The murder took place at around 5:30 p.m. on platform 1, and during the clashes, the accused suddenly took out a sharp object. Some believe that it was a knife in his hand. He stabbed him in the stomach before running away from the spot. And even as the shock continues now, within 12 hours, the accused in the case has also been arrested, a 27-year-old daily wage labourer who allegedly attacked Alok Kumar Singh over just a minor argument that broke out while alighting from the train at the station. It was a small argument that broke out. Suddenly, things seem to have escalated to an extent where he took out a knife or a sharp object and then stabbed the professor to death. According to the police, the accused has been apprehended from the Kirar area. My colleague Nilesh is joining us live on the broadcast with the details. And Nilesh, extremely shocking incident. Mumbai local train, known to be the lifeline of Mumbai, a horrific incident like this, the murder taking place in broad daylight, and there are many passengers who are there, but it all seemed to have taken place within seconds. What are the details of the accused?
Well, yes, Pratibha, absolutely shocking incident being reported from one of the busiest railway station, that is Malad, wherein the Churchgate-bound train arrived at Malad station on platform number 1 at around 6 p.m. On Saturday evening. It was while deboarding one of the fellow passengers, the main accused, who has now been arrested, identified as Omkar Shinde, asked the fellow passengers in front of him, that is Alok Kumar Singh, to deboard faster. But since they were children and women standing in front of her, he asked for a time. However, the accused, that is Omkar Shinde, got it by the statement and ultimately pulled out a sharp object and punched it into the stomach of the mathematician into a prominent college of Mumbai, which ultimately resulted into loss of severe blooding and ultimately resulting in his death. Now, doctors before treatment declared him dead, thus explaining the severity of the stabbing which took place. However, you also rightly pointed out that though the station was heavily crowded, but the situation unfolded extremely in a fast-paced situation, leaving no clue for the fellow passengers.
Or the killer in this case was not known to the professor at all. He was just a co-passenger. After this fight broke out on the train is when the attack took place?
Well, yes, absolutely, Pratibha. Both were unknown to each other. Omkar, that is the accused, happens to be a daily wage worker working in the southern part of Mumbai. Meanwhile, the said deceased professor works in suburban part of Mumbai and had no previous history as well. But it was a mere argument that ultimately unfolded into such a severe situation. The GRP has arrested the accused under section 103 of the BNS, that is charges of a murder, and is currently proceeding the case further. But it is extremely shocking that how a murder-like situation could unfold over such a petty issue of over deboarding the train faster. there are various reports that arguments break out on daily basis into Mumbai local trains, but it unfolding and taking such a severe turn is one of a kind of incident. However, it is also appreciated that the GRP, the Railway Police, acted promptly, acted swiftly, and within 12 hours, the said accused has been apprehended and put behind bars.
Okay, all right, Nilesh, thank you for joining us with those details. It's an absolute shocker. In fact, the police officials have caught the accused in the case. Here is what they said.
संध्याकाळी सायंकाळी 17:40 वाजताच्या दरम्यान मालाड रेल्वे स्टेशन प्लॅटफॉर्म नंबर 1-2 वरती आलेल्या चर्चगेट बोरोली स्लो लोकलच्या जनरल डब्यामध्ये एक मारामारीची घटना घडलेली होती. त्या मारामारीच्या घटनेमध्ये जो बोरोली रेल्वे पोलीस स्टेशन गुन्हा क्रमांक 81/26 कलम 103 यामधील जे विक्टिम बळीत आहेत आलोक कुमार सिंग यांचं आणि संशयित आरोपी यांचं भांडण झालं होतं गाडीतून उतरण्याच्या वादातून. मालाडमध्ये उतरायचं होतं दोघांना आणि त्यामधून त्यांचं भांडण झालं. त्या भांडणाच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये त्यातील संशयित आरोपिताने जे बळीत आहेत आलोक कुमार सिंग यांच्या पोटामध्ये तीक्ष्ण हत्यारानं वार केला होता. त्याला मेडिकल हेल्प आमच्या GRPने दिली. त्याला शताब्दी हॉस्पिटलमध्ये नेला असता शताब्दी हॉस्पिटलमध्ये त्यांना दाखल करण्यापूर्वी मयत घोषित केलं.
So, Nilesh, the police officials have apprehended the accused in the case, a labourer. You also mentioned that he does not have any prior history, but, you know, Mumbai is the local lifeline of the people there. There are multiple fights that also break out. But over such a small issue, over a petty issue, a fight broke out within seconds. The accused is said to have stabbed the professor to death and then even fled from the spot as a shocked crowd just watches on. What are the details of the victim? You mentioned that he was a professor at a local college.
Well, yes, absolutely, Pratibha, and that is the biggest shocking aspect into this entire story, that both were unknown to each other, and ultimately, as cops also again highlighted, that it was while deboarding the train when the argument broke out, and ultimately the accused, the 27-year-old, stabbed the professor, who happens to be working in a prominent college as a mathematician.
Okay. Just a moment, Nilesh. We also have Shaina NC on the broadcast with us. Thank you for joining us. This murder has shocked entire Mumbai and the country. A small argument breaks out in the train, after which a professor is stabbed to death and the crowd watches shocked.
Absolutely shocked, to say the least. The CCTV footage where you show a man panicking and fleeing across the footover bridge, you know, after this college teacher was stabbed to death inside a crowded local train. What does this say? I think that we all need to collectively speak up, because bystanders are as responsible and must intervene in cases such as this. The Railway Police has arrested the accused, who has been identified as Omkar Shinde, a 27-year-old daily wage labourer. And this has happened within 12 hours of the crime. But having said that, this is not the culture of Mumbai. And we have always seen Mumbaikars being very giving, being very accommodative. And the professor at Narsi Munji College was attacked following just a small argument. So I think we also need to look into what is our social consciousness and what is our collective consciousness. When there are situations such as this, the role of the bystander is extremely important, and just for an argument to stab somebody to death is very, very shocking, to say the least.
Absolutely. Shaina NC, thank you for joining us. Questions being raised on the collective conscience of Mumbai as well, because you can see the crowd, but they're watching shocked, and it all seemed to have happened within just a few seconds, Nilesh. You know, the crowd is watching, but questions being raised on the fact that killer is seen taking out his knife, and, you know, it's a crowded train. You can see the passengers there. He stabs the man as others watch. He's seen walking away from there. Just moments after that, he's also seen running from the station. He has been caught now, yes, but questions being raised on the crowd there as well, the co-passengers. What were they doing?
Well, indeed, Pratibha, that remains a big question as to what Shaina NC has also highlighted, that the collective consciousness of the society is also under doubt. However, it is quite different to angle what I understand personally, that local trains are a busy spot and all are rushing to their homes, and it is a mere few seconds that took for the attack, and the individual, the deceased himself, was unaware of what exactly transpired into that particular second. Once he was hit by the sharp object, the accused fled away, taking benefit of the crowd gathering onto the Malad station. However, due to the technicalities and various assessment which was done by the GRP, the accused has been apprehended. But indeed, it is a deep shocker that with no past or history or any kind of relevance, any sort of connection, a petty argument could turn out to be such a violent act. What we understand, the sharp object was a tong, the tool which was used by the daily wage worker on daily basis, which he kept into his bag, and ultimately that was used as a weapon to attack the said fellow passenger. But it is also important to highlight that on daily basis such arguments break out, but as Sainansi also pointed out, that Mumbai has for long been adjusting peoples from across diversity, and such incidents ultimately send a panic and shock across these social fabric. But yes, a lot many questions again arises as to collective consciousness could ultimately had boiled down to such a level that a petty argument as minute as deboarding a train faster than one can possibly do becomes one of the aspects to kill another fellow passenger. So that is also one aspect that currently is being discussed about on various platforms. But it is also to be highlighted that the cops acted swiftly, and ultimately within 12 hours the said accused has been apprehended and is facing justice as of now.
Okay, all right. Nilesh, thank you for joining us with all those details. Absolutely bone-chilling incident. Journey in the train turned out to be fatal. The professor was stabbed to death by a co-passenger after a small argument that broke out. The accused has now been taken into custody. With that, it's time for us to slip into a short break. We'll be right back. To stay with us.